Hello, and welcome to First Dog on the Moon's Spoken Cartoons. I'm cartoonist First Dog on the Moon, and today's spoken cartoon is Word of the Year. It was published on The Guardian on the 7th of November 2025. It's a 6-frame cartoon, as always. It has a little heading at the top. In this heading I've drawn 3 people, and the text at the beginning reads, Word of the Year already? Huzzah! First Dog on the Moon explains what this year's crop of young people, quote-unquote, words mean, and why the word of the year is once again irregardless. And the 3 people I've drawn underneath that, 2 on the left, one is orange and wearing a green frock, she has long hair, she's saying, no, it is not irregardless. And she has a little friend who's sort of a purple rat thing, and I've written a label next to the 2 of them, mean editors. And then over on the other side of the heading is a picture of me holding my hand up, and I've labelled myself petulant cartoonist, and I'm saying you're not the boss of me, which is of course not true. Onto frame 1. I've drawn 2 people, one grown-up and one young person. The text at the top reads, Do you have feelings about the word of the year like I do? I am sorry. I can't help it. Even though word of the year is just a marketing ploy, it doesn't mean we can't get all etymologizedly miffed about it. Did I say that right? The person I've drawn on the left, who is me, looking at my phone, I'm angrily saying, how is that even a word? And the young person I've drawn over on the right-hand side of the frame is saying, don't be such a flugelhorn. Now we're on to frame 2. The text at the top, it's broken into 2 parts, this frame. The text at the top reads, so what are the words of the year? It depends on which dictionary, quote-unquote, you ask. One publication says the word of the year is vibe coding, and I've put that in a little heading, and on one side of that I've drawn a person who's looking confused, and on the other side of that I've drawn a person who's possibly not confused but also not very clever, and they're saying, vibe coding, I love all of his movies. Underneath that the text reads, what is vibe coding, quote-unquote, question mark. It's getting AI to write your computer code for you by telling it what you want the code to do. I've drawn a disgruntled, unhappy-looking person typing away at a computer, and they're saying, write an app that kills me if I ever use AI again. And the computer responds, beep boop. Now we're on to frame 3, and the text at the top reads, a much better word, suggested as runner-up for the word of the year, is clanker, open brackets, derogatory, close brackets. And on the left of that, I've drawn someone swearing with a skull and a little lightning bolt and an asterisk in their speech bubble, as is traditional. And then on the right-hand side of that, I've drawn a sad-looking clanky robot. Beneath that, there's some more text, which reads, hailing from the Star Wars universe, clanker, quote-unquote, is a contemptuous reference to robots and artificial intelligence, etc. While it is slur-coded, it isn't an actual slur, as it doesn't perpetuate systemic inequities. And underneath that bit of text, I've drawn someone saying, but it's so cute, and they're holding their hands up with delight, looking at one of those little food delivery robots that they have in the United States, and along the side it has written Delivobot, and it's very cute, and it's saying exterminate, which is a reference to the Daleks from Doctor Who, in case you were wondering. We arrive at frame 4, and down the bottom of this frame I've drawn some young people. A couple of them are looking at their phones, and the rest of the frame is text, so bear with me. It reads, another marketing department says that, quote, 6-7, unquote, is word of the year. When I was a tiny infant, being at 6s and 7s meant you were disorganised and unable to agree. Now it means something else. Nothing. Specifically, not anything specific. So the main thing you need to know about 6-7, quote unquote, is that you do in fact not need to know what it means. Just relax. Leave young people alone. Mind your own business. And next to the young people who are just standing around, some of whom are looking at their phones, I have written this label, young people who don't think about you at all. And with that, we move on to frame 3, which is a list. At the top, the text reads, here are some definitions of other new words so you can horrify area youths by using them in front of them. The first one, aura farming, the act of farming aura. I've drawn a glowing tractor. Number 2 is broligarchy, tech billionaires' fascist world order destroying the planet. And I've drawn someone doing a straight arm salute, quote unquote. Number 3 is the brolgarchy, lovely birds in charge. And I've drawn a brolga, and there's an asterisk there which takes us down to a footnote which reads, did you know that unlike human infants, baby brolgas are both precocial and nidifugous? It's true. And number 4, task masking, looking like you're working but you're not, e.g. cartooning. And then I've drawn myself cartooning, not working very hard, and I'm saying lol. And finally, in this frame, number 5, chopped. This list is chopped unk, and there's a young person looking angry and having some exclamation marks above their head. And we continue the list into frame 6, number 6 being Italian brain rot. I read the explanation of this and I still don't know what it is, and I've drawn myself looking at my phone and I'm reading the words trippy troppy, which you'll probably see if you Google Italian brain rot, but I don't recommend it. At number 7, a coolcation. A holiday somewhere cold. Why does that even need a word? I've drawn myself saying no angrily. 8, biohacking. Nobody cares. I've drawn myself saying micro-retirement. This is number 9. And the last one, oh God, please shut up. Stop trying to make micro-retirement happen, Gretchen. Which I've made someone there looking quite cross. That's a reference to the film Mean Girls. And finally, down the bottom, I've written the following text, which is, sadly, irregardless has been overlooked as word of the year again, but it will be the word of the year forever in our hearts. And I've drawn myself there looking up at the word irregardless with a little love heart. I'm wearing a red t-shirt, and on that I have written, everyone agrees with me. Thanks for listening to this episode of First Dog on the Moon's Spoken Cartoons. I've had a lovely time. I hope you've had a lovely time. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. YouTube have said if I get enough subscribers, they'll send me a vole. Who wouldn't want that? That's fantastic. Thanks for listening.